The morning sunlight spilled gently through the paper shoji screens of Ginger Kitten's little wooden house at the edge of the city. The air smelled of sakura blossoms drifting from the park nearby, and tiny specks of pink petals danced in the breeze that slipped through the open window. Ginger stretched lazily, his orange fur catching the golden light, and felt his heart flutter. Today was the day. After weeks of shy glances and soft meows shared under the wisteria tree, he was finally taking his crush, the graceful Snowbell, a delicate white kitten with eyes like clear spring water, on their first real date. He had spent days preparing, brushing his fur until it shone like burnished amber, practicing his smile in the mirror, and even asking the wise old cat from the sushi bar for advice on how to impress a lady. As he walked toward the park, the streets of Kyoto hummed with morning life, bicycles rattling past, paper lanterns swaying above shopfronts, and the faint sound of a shakuhachi flute echoing from somewhere unseen. Ginger clutched a tiny paper bag between his teeth, homemade fish-shaped biscuits tied with a red ribbon, and his paws tingled with nervous excitement. When he finally reached the entrance of Hanamori Park, he paused. The path ahead was a dreamscape of soft cherry blossoms, their petals falling like pink snow, blanketing the stone walkway and the tranquil pond beyond. Snowbell was already there, sitting near the koi pond, her tail curled neatly around her paws, gazing into the water where orange and white koi glided like painted brushstrokes. She turned when she heard his footsteps, her face lighting up in a shy smile that melted his heart like morning sun on frost. "You came," she said softly, her voice like a whisper in the wind. Ginger, struggling not to stammer, placed the small gift beside her and said, "Of course I did, I wouldn't miss today for anything in the world." They walked together under the falling petals, talking, laughing, sharing stories about their favorite spots in the city, the noodle shop where the owner always left out scraps for strays, the bamboo grove where the wind hummed like a lullaby. The world around them seemed to fade, leaving only the rhythm of their paw steps and the harmony of their laughter blending with the distant rustle of leaves. The park seemed alive, as if nature itself was watching and blessing their gentle connection. The trees bowed in the wind, the pond rippled in soft applause, and even the sun dipped lower to cast a tender golden glow upon them. When they stopped beneath a massive cherry tree, its branches arching like a pink cathedral, Ginger shyly took out a single blossom from the ground and tucked it behind Snowbell's ear. She blushed, or maybe it was the reflection of the sunset, and for a long, beautiful moment, neither of them said a word. Only the wind spoke, carrying the promise of something new, something tender, and infinitely precious. As twilight draped itself across the park, turning the sky from rose to indigo, the two kittens found themselves near the red-arched bridge that crossed the koi pond. Lanterns began to glow one by one, their reflections trembling on the water's surface like tiny floating stars. Ginger and Snowbell sat close, tails brushing lightly, listening to the chorus of crickets rising from the reeds. The gentle rippling of water and the perfume of blossoms created an atmosphere so pure that time seemed to slow, and all the noise of the world fell away. Ginger told her about his dream, to open a small tea house for cats someday, where everyone could rest, share stories, and forget their worries. Snowbell smiled and confessed that she always dreamed of becoming a painter, capturing the beauty of each season on rice paper, especially spring, because, as she said, "Spring reminds me of new beginnings, and of you." Her words made Ginger's heart pound like a taiko drum. He wanted to say something grand, poetic, but all he could do was smile and look into her eyes, where the entire night sky seemed to live. They shared the biscuits he'd baked, laughing when the crumbs got caught in his whiskers, and then wandered toward the quiet hill that overlooked the park. From there, Kyoto stretched beneath them, glowing softly in the distance, temples outlined in gold, rivers winding through lantern-lit streets, and 1,000 sakura trees trembling under the moonlight. Ginger took a deep breath, the scent of blossoms and her fur mingling in the cool air, and realized he didn't need fancy words. The silence between them was more eloquent than anything he could ever say. As the moon rose full and luminous above, Snowbell leaned her head gently against his shoulder, and the world became still, no noise, no fear, just the beating of two small hearts and the whisper of falling petals. "Thank you," she murmured, "for the best evening I've ever had." Ginger closed his eyes and whispered back, "No, thank you for saying yes." The night wrapped them in silver light as the petals swirled around like snowflakes, and even the koi below seemed to pause, their scales gleaming like scattered gems. When it was time to leave, they walked side by side, their shadows long and intertwined under the moon's gentle glow. At the park's gate, Snowbell turned to him and softly kissed his cheek, just a brush of warmth, but it sent sparks through every fiber of his being. "Next time," she said with a playful twinkle, "I'll bring you a surprise." Ginger watched her disappear down the lantern-lit path, her white fur glowing like starlight, and felt a new kind of peace settle in his chest, the quiet joy that comes when love begins, not with fireworks, but with cherry blossoms, shared laughter, and the simple wonder of finding someone who makes the whole world bloom. As the night wind stirred, carrying the scent of sakura across the darkened park, Ginger whispered into the air, "Until next time, Snowbell," and turned homeward beneath the falling petals, his heart forever marked by the sweetness of that perfect spring evening, the night when a shy orange kitten found not just his crush, but the beginning of a love story as gentle and timeless as the cherry blossoms of Japan.